yesterday we were working on this lesson um, on teams, on why we support teams, right? So we explored lots of vocabulary related to that. And also we read this brief article on the psychological reasons for that also. And basically what we did was to explore certain rules, certain, rules, basic and extended for the use of articles, right? That's essentially what we covered yesterday. But still, that's essentially the topic of this lesson that we started yesterday. It has to do with teams and success and failure, right? That's essentially it. And we are going to cover now the second part of that lesson that has to do specifically with that vocabulary that we can use to talk about success and failure in life in general terms. So just to start, guys, we've got this couple of extracts, um, this couple of clauses here, right? And what we need to do is to focus on these expressions which are highlighted in yellow color, right? And think about the verbs that we could use. I mean, it's one verb, by the way. It's one single verb that we could use to replace both expressions, to replace thus well and to replace prosper, you see? So we have these two different expressions here, but we're gonna change that using only one verb. Let's think about that one verb that we can use to replace these two expressions, okay? So I'd like you to think about it, read the clauses, and I just read the comment by Danielle. Yes, it's nostalgic. I know. I don't know how to express that, but yeah, we are somehow connected to that little child we were somehow forever, right? Okay, so guys, we need to find that one verb. It's one single verb that we can use to replace these two expressions. Okay, now I'll give you 2 minutes for that. That's something we're gonna do individually. We are going to think about it, and we are just going to write it down there if that's the case. Okay, so that single verb that we can use for that. Let's have got some coffee myself. We are happy when our project team does well at work, wanting your children to prosper in life. That is what you need to do. Okay, guys, so I'd like to hear some options. What verb do you think we can use there? It's the same verb for both clauses. Which one is it? Guys, come on. Which is that magic verb we can use in both cases? Any ideas? Any guesses?
Teacher maybe succeeds.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, actually, yes, that is a verb. It was very like, you know, we could infer that based on the actual title of this section, right? But yeah, it succeed in both cases. Okay, so it can be we're happy when our project team succeed at work and wanting your children to succeed in life. And I just remember something, guys. Which sentence is right? If I say the team, talking about any team, it can be a football team or it could be a project team like this. If I say the team know exactly what to do versus the team knows exactly what to do. Which one is the right option there? The team knows or the team know? What is the best option there?
The team no,
No. And why? Why is that?
because I suppose the team is plural. So the team no.
That's one option, right? I mean, clearly that's one of, I mean, literally one of the two options. But is there anybody who thinks something different? Who believes that perhaps it should be the team knows?
I'm not sure, but I think that it's knows. The team knows because of course the team is plural because it has a lot of people there, but team indeed is just one team.
Uh-huh. Mhm,
So the team knows.
mhm. Well, guys, in that case, we can actually use both. Both options are right. But of course, when you use either of these two options, you are emphasizing in a different way. And clearly, if you use a conjugation for the verb as you know, for the third person singular, you are emphasizing and in the actual team as a body of people, you see, on the team itself. But if you use a conjugation for plural, you're talking about the people in general terms. And that's a possibility. So you can use both, although the one which is the most common is the singular form. Just like this. Look, we're happy when our project team does well. That would be the most common way to do it. So the team knows exactly what to do. That would be the most common. But chances are that you would also find cases in which they say, for instance, the team know, and that's to refer to the individuals in the team, you see? So both options are a possibility, but the most common would be using the singular form, okay? That would be it. Okay, guys, so now we're gonna read a very interesting article, by the way, about women in baseball. And what we're gonna do is decide if the phrases in blue are to do with success or failure. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We've got 12 different phrases, and they refer to either success or failure. So this is going to be lots of vocabulary for us to digest and incorporate to our lexicon. So if that's okay with you guys, I'd like you to take, I don't know, 3 minutes to read. I mean, yeah, 3 to 4 minutes more or less to read the whole article. And as you read the article, I'd like you to identify that. So you say overcame, that refers to, I don't know, perhaps failure, I think. And then you just mark it there with an F, for instance, with an F, you know. So that's it, guys. That's what I'd like you to do, just to read the article and then identify if these words, or I mean, these verbs or words or phrases which are in blue refer to either success or failure. Okay, guys? So that's it. Please, let's do that. I will pause the recording over here. Let me just record again. Okay, so let's have a look at the article. Look like women, play like men. That's what they say here. That's the title. So let's see. Let me just read it really quick, and then I will stop in each one of the expressions, so we can classify all of them. Okay, so it goes like this: not many sports players can claim to have inspired a Hollywood film, but one team did just that. You may not have heard of them, but the Rockford Peaches overcame obstacles and prejudice and got to the top of the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League. So these two guys overcame and got to the top. They would be associated with, what would you say, succeed or failure? Success or failure?
Succeed.
Succeed.
That's with success, I'm sorry. That would be success in both cases, right? That would be success in both cases. Overcame is literally get over, or you know, like, yes, it's like overcame means, like in this case, get over something, like superar, right? That's literally the meaning. And got to the top, well, it's like basically to be the best in the category. So all this happened in the 1940s. The film The Women Inspire was A League of Their Own. In 1943, the All-American Professional Baseball League was suffering as most of the male players were drafted into the US military. Philip Key Riley, the chewing gum company boss, wanted to keep baseball in the public eye. He helped found the Women's League, define the rules of the game, and sent out scouts throughout the country to find talented players. You know what scouts is, guys? You know what that means? Scouts?
Yes, it's like in Spanish, niño explorador or something like that.
That's one meaning, yeah. But scout literally means scout literally means like explorer. That's exactly the meaning of it. Like a scout is a explorer, not just a little boy. It could be, you know, there are so many scouts. So for instance, in the context of war, a scout could be a person like a soldier they send to the front just to see what's there, so they inform the rest of the army about what's going on there. So that could be a scout. But in the context of sports, scouts are, you know, explorers, but in a different sense, and it's people who look for talents, for new talents. You see, so for instance, you know that people from other, I mean, scouts from other countries come here to Colombia to see players. You see, so there are lots of Argentinian or Mexican scouts who come here just to find players that they can take to their leagues, for instance. So that's the kind of scout they refer to here. There you go. It was risky as there was a real possibility that the whole scheme would be a flop. You know what a flop is? I mean, it would be failure, success. What do you think?
Failure,
Yeah, and how would you define that word? What does it mean, guys?
that the whole scheme will be a flop, like that will be I don't know, unworthy.
Hmm. Yeah, and that's a word. We could also say simply a failure. You see, like a fail, just like that. So a flop would be just pretty much the same thing as failure or fail. Okay, that would be a flop. But Riley gamble paid off. And that's what, guys, paid off. Success, failure. What would you think? Paid off.
Success.
That's success. And when something pays off, it means that you make an effort, right? And then at the end, you get something positive out of that effort. You see, so if you work really hard and then you obtain good results, that means that means that whatever you did, it's paying off. Okay, or like valer la pena, in other words, as well. Then we have turnouts. Women's baseball turned out to be really popular. I think it's self-explaining.
Yeah, succeed.
That's success, right? Turnout. Although, well, in this context, it means in this context, success in this context. But turnout is a more neutral phrase because you could also use it in different contexts. Because at the end of the day, turnout simply means that something resulted in something else. But we could use turnout to refer to other kinds of things. So we could say, for example, like he turned out to be a very silly person. You see, so that means that you had an impression of a person, you thought that a person was a certain way, and then this person resulted to be different. So I would say turnout is a little bit more neutral, actually. So turned out to be really popular, with one player, Dottie Kamenchek, appearing on a list of the top 100 female athletes of all time. There were just 4 teams in the original All-American League in 1943. By 1948, their most successful year, the league had 10 teams. It was a triumph, and its best season the league had almost 1 million fans. Wow, I didn't know that. So triumph, I think it's very obvious, right? It's a success in this case. The players had to follow strict rules about their behavior, appearance, and even had to attend a charm school run by Helena Robinstein. They were told, look like women, play like men. They needed to be tough if they were going to make it in the world of baseball. Give me a second, please. Okay, sorry. To make it in the world of baseball. There was a lot of pressure, but the women couldn't give in. They had to work hard to succeed. So give in, guys. What is give in?
Like
This one.
surrender.
Yep. So that refers to failure. So give in, give up, it's pretty much the same thing. So it refers to that. So give in, it's associated with failure. Unfortunately, things didn't work out. So in this case, this phrase means failure or success.
It's failure.
It means failure. Although workout would be the opposite, of course, because do you know that we use workout to refer to physical activity? So people work out in the gym, but also workout is used just to refer that to something that functions, let's say. You see, so you say, like, for instance, the team had a very big problem with the project, but they had an idea that really worked out. So that means that idea was a good idea and it worked. You see, so things didn't work out so well for the league in the 1950s, as it became more difficult for them to compete with the male league. The women were as skillful as the men, but not as strong. Men's team even tried to recruit Doty, but that fell flat. Fell flat, guys. Fell flat. You know what that is, guys? Well, first of all, success or failure? I mean, that one.
I think that's failure because fail, but I
Oh,
don't know
wait.
the meaning of.
Yes, that's fell flat, and that would be exactly the opposite to work out. So something works out means that something works, basically, right? But fell flat is exactly the opposite. It means that something was a failure. You see? So yeah, I mean, in this case, they had a plan, which was to recruit this woman for the male team, but that fell flat. That simply didn't work or didn't work out, right? She turned it down, so she didn't accept, as she thought it was a publicity stunt. You know what stunt is, guys? That word is very common, actually. Don't you guys know? Stunt. So for example, in the world of BMX, they do lots of stunts. Or in the world of skateboarding, they do lots of stunts. You know?
Yes, teacher. It's like the
Like-
tricks that they do in a bicycle arena.
Like a trick, yeah. We could put it like that, a little bit like trick. But stunt literally means pirueta, right? So it was a publicity stunt. The number of fans shrank. So that means that it decreased. The number of fans decreased, the number of fans shrank. There was a breakdown. That would be what? Success, failure.
I don't know, maybe failure.
That's a failure. Oh, come on. So there was a breakdown in training schemes due to the lack of money, and eventually the league folded. So concluded in 1954. Today, women's baseball is again in the news with upcoming stars like Moan Davis in the USA and Eri Yoshida in Japan. Some people think plans for a new league could come off. We think the foreseeable future. Come off, guys. What could it be? Do you think that that's failure? That's success? Well, it's success, and that's a synonym for workouts. So if you say come off, it's like saying workout. You see that you're basically expressing that something works. I'm sure Dottie would approve of that. That's what they say here. Okay, guys. So this is what you guys are going to do. This is funny how they put these two exercises separated for some reason. So guys, just to conclude with this, we are going just to do some matching with this vocabulary, just to just to double check the meaning of these expressions. Okay. Yeah. In the first category, all of these words in the exercise C, no, actually, no, they are combined here. So let's go to the breakout rooms, guys, just to do the exercises C and D, and then we're going to conclude with a task of this lesson, just to conclude with this. Okay. So we're going to have around 4 minutes to do this, and then we'll be back here. So let me just. Okay, guys, so we are back here. Let's have a look really quick at this. So let's see, guys, let's see exactly what the answers are. So we're gonna start with flip. We already had a look at that. And let me see, we'll just select the right tool. Oh, there we go. So flip, guys, number 1 goes with which one?
With B,
B.
Let me
I believe is with D. Feel even that is unsuccessful.
Yeah, it's a little bit more specific than just a failure. It could be somehow a failure. I mean, in certain contexts, we could use flop just to refer to a failure, but this is a specific kind of failure. So it's a failure, but this kind of failure. So when we are talking about an event or yeah, like a show or something that was expected to happen, and it turns out to be a flop. You see, so in that case, it's a little bit more specific. That's what I say. Thank you for that. Then number 2, breakdown. Which one? Breakdown, guys.
I think it's B.
Yeah, actually, yes. Breakdown is way more general, right? So it's just a failure. Then we have a given, number 3, given, guys.
I
E.
think it's C.
E.
It's E, yeah, it's E. Admit to failure. When you give in, it means that you say, okay, I accept that there is nothing I can do. You see, number 4, workout. Number 4,
With A.
A, yeah, would go with A. Develop in a successful way. Turn out, 5.
F.
F. And as you can see, the definition for it, it's just happen or develop in a particular way. So this is why I said before that this is a little bit more neutral, because you can use it in both to refer to both something positive or negative. And payoff, which means to be successful and bring good results. You see, that is how it goes. Then we have the second part. Number 1, fall flats. 1. Fall flat, guys.
With
What?
C.
It's C, absolutely,
Yeah.
yes. It's C, fail to have the desired effects. Number 2, triumph.
with
F.
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 Great success, achievement, and victory. This is also the name of a motorcycle brand, which is just magnificent. So beautiful. If you want to check it out, it's a British motorcycle brand. Wow, it's just fantastic. It has got the same name, Triumph.
The one that is called Triumph or Victory?
Excuse me.
Victory or Triumph is the brand of the motorcycle.
Oh, actually, you know what? There is also a new brand which is called Victory, but Triumph is an emblematic brand. But Victory is it's more of a low-cost brand,
But
which
it's
is
like
no.
like a sportive, or the one that I think that you like it, I think.
No,
You-
actually, Triumph has got different kinds of motorcycles. It was famous for classic motorcycles, but there are also sports bikes and adventure bikes. They have lots of different examples. But this, I mean, the difference between Triumph and Victory is that Triumph, second-hand Triumph could cost easily 35 million pesos, and a brand new Victory motorcycle might be just 7 or less. So yeah.
Okay.
That's a difference. Come off, guys. Come off. Number 3. Come off. Would go with which one?
E.
B. have the intended effect
Maybe
or
no, teacher
so-
E.
E, be successful in your career.
I think
no,
that it's B.
it's B. Yeah. Yeah, because it's come off. And actually, look, guys, this in terms of vocabulary, pay attention to this. Come off and turn out would be almost synonyms. So you can use those two expressions to refer out both phrasal verbs to refer to things happening in certain way. So this idea turned out to be very good, or this idea came off being very good. You see? So pretty much the same thing. Number 4, guys, overcome.
With
Overcome.
A.
Absolutely,
A.
yes. Yes, succeed in dealing with a problem. Number 5, get to the top.
With D.
Yes, reach the highest point of your profession. And make it with, which of course goes with E, right? Be successful in your career. There you go, guys. There you go. So this vocabulary is going to be absolutely important for the final task that we're gonna do. And I'm gonna have so much fun with this. I know that I will love to see you guys doing this. This is going to be just fantastic. The thing is that I'm just trying to think because that would take perhaps a little bit too much time, but well, this is what we're gonna do. We are going to make groups of 4 to 5 people, okay? That's the first thing. We're gonna make groups of 4 to 5 people, ideally. 4 to maximum 5. That's the very first thing. Once we make the groups, guys, each one of you is going to take one role. So if we've got 4 people in the group, so one of you is going to be student A, another person's going to be student B, another person C, and another person is going to be D. If there's a group that has 5 people, there is a role that we need to repeat, and that could be either A, B, or C. D is the only role. Give me a second. D is the only role that we cannot repeat. Give me a second, and I will. Yep. So that's the only we cannot repeat. Okay. So if we are a group of 5, it should be 2 A's, 2 B's, or 2 C's, but only 1 D in either case, if it's a 4 or a 5, or 5 people. So once you have chosen your role, so for instance, I am a student A, okay? So I will go to the corresponding page. So in this case, is the page number 128. This is the 128, let me see. Yep. And this is the exercise 6. So this is my role, as you can see here. So it says, you are a famous sports person. Choose your sport. So I will choose hockey. You are going to take part in an interview for a television program called Success at Last. Read your information and be prepared to answer the questions the interviewer asks you about. How do you have overcome failure problems in your role? Use phrases to do with success and failure from page 29, which what we were checking. So you guys are going to, and this person is going to talk about school, and this is like the, you know, the input for your story. So this is what you have to talk about. So basically, this is your story. So at school, you were very successful, winning lots of competitions, championships, and medals. At 17, you turned professional and joined a team. Your first season was very successful, and you won the Young Sportsperson of the Year award. At the beginning of your second season, you had a really bad injury and couldn't play for over a year. It was very difficult for you in lots of ways, and it has taken a long time for you to get back enough strength to be able to play in the team again. Okay, so this is your story, and this is what you have to talk about. And each one of you guys is going to have a role like that, as you can see, because we have 4 different roles, 3 different roles, I'm sorry. So basically, what you have to do, as I said, once you have made the groups and everything, you guys are going to prepare this interview. Okay, so the one of you who's a student D is the one who is going to interview the others, and the others have to talk about this. So that means that at the end of the day, we have essentially two roles. That of the interviewer, right? Let me just write it down here. The interviewer, which is going to be a student D, right? That's going to be the interviewer. And A, B, and C will be, how do you call that? How do you call that? So we've got the interviewer and the how do we call the people who go to the program and answer the questions and stuff?
Like the guesses? No.
No. I mean, we have interviewer, which is the journalist, the communicator who makes the questions and everything. And we have the other role, which is the people who attend the program and they answer the questions and tell their stories. There you go, Nicholas. There you go. That is the interviewee. So we've got three interviewees. That's students A, B, and C. Remember, if you've got a team of 5 people, you would be 2 A's, 2 B's, and 2 C's, and 1 D. And actually, you know what? Just to make it even easier for those of you, depending on the names of the groups, we can accept groups from 3 to 5. Okay, groups from 3 to 5 people. If it's 3 people in the group, always we need to have a student D. So it would be A, B, and D, or A, C, and D, or B, C, and D if it's 3 people, okay? But remember, there has to be always 1 D in the groups, always 1 D in the groups. No 2 Ds or no Ds, because it doesn't work that way. Okay, guys, so we're gonna do this exercise in 2 different stages. So the very first stage is just when you guys will go to the breakout rooms, you will see your roles. You will help each other understand them. So as I just did it, for instance, if I go once again to my role, let's say I'm here. Okay, this is my role, and there is something I don't understand. It says, I don't know. It says, let me see. I don't know. It says that at the beginning of your second season, you had a really bad injury, but I don't remember this word. I don't know exactly. So you guys are going to help each other understand your roles very well in terms of language. And once you have understood your roles, the next part is to be ready. I mean, you guys would prepare individually for that interview. So this is what you need to talk about, right? These are 5 bullet points about what you guys have to tell about. So you need to check this, but at the same time, you need to check this vocabulary because this is the vocabulary you will use. So basically, for this activity, you need 2 things. First, this vocabulary, because you need to use it as you have the interview. And the second part, which is the information of your role. You guys are going to put that together so you prepare your interview. So we're going to do it in 2 stages. The first stage is this, in which you guys are going to prepare it. And once you guys are ready, you guys are going to play the interview. So it's like a rehearsal. Okay, so you guys are going to have your interview in your groups directly. Okay, that's the first part. And for the whole thing, we're gonna take around 15 minutes to do this. And once we finish with this stage, I will tell you what we're gonna do about it. Okay, because it's going to be also one of the grades for this second term. Okay, guys, is that clear, guys? Have you got any question?
Everything's clear.
Okay, guys, so let's go to the breakout rooms. Remember, groups of 3, 4, or 5 people. There are some people who just sometimes I've seen, and in the previous activity, they went to a breakout room alone, and others who stayed here with no response. That is creepy. Don't do that. Make sure you make groups of 3 to 5 people. Those are the options we have. Okay, so once again, I'll create just I think we should create just 10 groups, and that would help us a little bit. Let's make just 10 groups because as you'll see later, if we socialize this, 12 groups would be a little bit too much. So let's go, guys. 15 minutes to do this. So welcome back. So as I said, the very first stage was just to get familiar with the exercise and understand exactly what we are expected to do. But this is what we're going to do, and that's going to be the assignment for tomorrow. So as you guys had the chance to say, basically each one of you had to get familiar with the role that you guys had selected. So it was just to understand that role and exactly what you are expected to do in the interview or in the program actually, and then check the vocabulary that we cover today with these different activities we did. As this is the vocabulary that we are going to use to talk about success and failure. So those were the two different things that we are going to do. But as I said, this is going to be an assignment for tomorrow. So that means that we are going to present it officially and that we are going to grade that. Okay. So what's going to be the actual product? What's going to be the actual assignment that you guys will present tomorrow? The assignment is going to be a TV show. So you guys are going to present a TV show. So that means that you are going to do the interview, but you will record it. So that means that you will prepare everything just the way it is right there, but you are going to record it. You decide how to do it. So you guys are 100% free to choose any kind of format to do this assignment. So it could be either having, for instance, a Zoom meeting and you record it and you play everything in one single take, or you could have separate videos and then make some sort of edition and put them together. It's absolutely your decision. 100% your decision. So that's exactly how it works. Okay. So I don't know if you guys have any question about that.
No, teacher.
Okay. Regarding how long the interview can be, the idea is to make it shorter than 5 minutes. So it should be somewhere from 3 to 5 minutes. So the time limit should be 5 minutes. Okay. So tomorrow, it's just like the last exercise we did. You will bring just the videos, and we are going to share the videos here and watch the interviews. And also there will be, we'll have like some sort of votes. So we'll also give some extra points regarding the votes that we get from the whole group. Okay, that's essentially what we need to do for tomorrow. So it's like you will do the interview, but instead of doing just a little exercise in the breakout rooms, you're going to record that. And what you guys are going to present tomorrow, which is something we're going to present here and also upload to Moodle, is going to be this short video from 3 to 5 minutes video interview in which all the members of the group will actually play that role. You guys will role play this interview. Okay, guys? So that's essentially it. So if that's okay with you guys, I will let you, I will give you these minutes just to discuss exactly how you're gonna do that. And then we'll come back here for calling the attendance, and then we are good to go. Okay, guys? Is that okay with you?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, teacher.
There you
Yes,
go.
teacher.
Remember, guys, remember, there are two things that you need to make sure you do. Number one, you need to play your role. So there is some information there that you need to cover, and you need to talk about that. Actually, three things. Second thing, every person has a different role. So you need to actually play that role because your grading will depend on that. And third, you need to make sure you use all this I mean, not all, but you need to use the vocabulary that we study to talk about success and failure. You need to make sure you use that vocabulary in your videos. Okay, so guys, let's go back to the breakout rooms just to discuss exactly how we're gonna do this. And then we'll be back here just to give some final comments, and then we are good to go. So let's go, guys. Okay, guys, so we are back here. So do not forget, the assignment for tomorrow, super clear. You guys are going to basically record the interview, which is proposed as the exercise number 6 in this lesson number 3.2. So that's what you guys are going to do. You are absolutely free to choose the format that you want for this interview. As I said, it could be a Zoom a meeting that you can record, for example, or it could be separated videos that you can then put together. It's your decision. Tomorrow, each one of the groups is going to present their videos, and we will, watch them and make comments, and just something similar to what we did the previous time when you guys made the videos on the pantomimes. So it's going to work a little bit that way. So guys, just to finish with that, I'd like to double check if you have any question or doubt regarding this activity. Nope.
No, teacher.
Okay, great. So guys, let's call the attendance then. I will stop the recording here. Then we call the attendance, and then we are good to